Alright, testing. Can you hear me alright? I want to make sure that audio is actually coming through uncorrupted. As if it is, then there's an unusual... Okay, cool. If there's no background problems, then that is outstanding. I'm glad to hear it. Oh, right. That is good enough for me. If you notice any audio oddities, definitely call them out, and I will do what I can. There's been some on and off problems with the microphone. I'm gonna do a bit of a warm-up and X challenge like I did last week. Figure it'll give a little bit more time for other folks to join in if they feel like it. I think I'm gonna try getting you first. Just for the film. Oh, that does. That's quite nice. I actually can't remember when I originally built this loadout if I put in Ray Splasher specifically for God Car Machine or if that was just kind of a fluke. But this is definitely gonna be a bit of a slog. I need to figure out the mechanics of X challenge on top of Doppler's healing mechanics. Oh, that your charge time is actually quick enough where you can do that, it seems. It doesn't look like he'll initiate them one after another. As long as I keep that up, I can bait the healing spaghetti out the first time, and then immediately hit him with the base charge without worrying about the plasma orb healing him. Janky, but it works. Got him. Slow, but, you know, whatever. Okay, and I do have... Alright, everything's good. Okay, updating score. So that means now I should be able to get one more achievement. Hopefully. My rank this stage... Oh no. My rank this stage. There we go. I don't actually care about what my score was. We'll chip away at that. More than anything, I want to burn through some of the achievements on the PlayStation version. We just got another, so that works. I'm not going to subjugate anybody to watching the credits stuff, because all that is super janky. So, I think... Do I want to go for the no special weapons run? I'll play it by ear. But that will knock out 3 of them. So let's go for that. Well, we'll play it by ear. Not worried about any of the cinematics. Yeah, so there's a couple, let's just call them hunter medals because the name is different for everything. But they function differently than the descriptions make them seem. So blasting through the credits requires getting a specific high score by shooting the credits, like a classic Smash Brothers credits minigame and everything. That unlocks a song, but you have to actually watch through the whole credits even though you unlock the song for that. So it's just a lot of sitting for pretty much no reason. Also, I'm going to try something this time that I kind of forgot I could do. Oh no, never mind, can't do it. It's not in the collection menu, it's on the game pause, so that's whatever. But you need to unlock that song in order to get another sound test related achievement. And it's all very obtuse. Like, the phrasing doesn't imply that you have to do any of that way, but you do. Also, it's time for everybody's favorite. I turned enemy Mac, who for whatever reason is one of the only characters in the X series who isn't a main character who gets a unique teleportation animation, which has always kind of bothered me. I don't know why they went out of their way to give him something so unique and honestly I think pretty cool. Even if it's really simple, when they give, like, the X-Hunters and Dynamo and other characters just kind of, like, janky teleport-in stuff. But now we're everybody's favorite guy. Except Mike. The first playable appearance of the boy. Plug Mac. Hit him with the saber, all you gotta do. We'll cancel it occasionally. Not a big deal. Look, everybody's got their correct colors, but now X is called Mega Man, and I'm just so upset. I don't know why it's so wrong all the time, but here we are. Such simple things. Yeah, the charge saber is honestly pretty satisfying in this one. But I still don't know if I want to go that route or the Bit Bite Vial no weakness weapon route, so I'll kind of see how I'm feeling shaking the rust off wise. There's a sweet spot that I found one time, it was probably just luck, where he basically wouldn't punch me. And I've never been able to find it again, but we're done. Now the giant is down. I think they made him a little bit more difficult than Gigantic Gigantic Mechanoid from X2, but not by a lot. The nice subtle nod that Zero is now summonable. Right. In grand tradition, starting off with the Ice Maverick. I always loved like the little dinky buster sound for that cross effect there. I've been modifying my routing for the other Super Nintendo era games, and I really feel like this one demands a reroute too on my end, but I really don't ever have like the deep urge to play this one as often as I do X1 and 2, so it just kind of never happens. Yeah, it'd be actually kind of neat if there was some kind of evidence that he did use the gigantic mechanoid as the basis for Mao. It'd be easy enough to justify that, but might also be overthinking it just a tad. So we can't get the vial capsules yet, so we're going to ignore that. I'm also not going to pick that one up, because if I can help it, I'd like to come back here with the sub-tank and fill that up. Since X3 hits, like, everything hits like trucks. It's just a convoy of trucks. No. There we go. First try, I'll take that. I'm terrible at that jump. I'm also terrible with the upward air dash, but it's cool that they added it. It's kind of telling that they never really brought it back in this form, like the hover from the Force Armor and then the free flight from Falcon makes way more sense. But hopefully it won't be too overtly terrible in this session. It's not a great start. Is there anywhere that I want to farm in particular? Probably here. Definitely gonna be the easiest. All I need is like the one minor pickup. 2 minor pickups. There we go. Okay, so now this is like, it's such a bad early game jump for me. Although, actually, this controller's making it pretty comfy, which is nice. I'll take that for sure. Drop back down here, get the free large. Oh, ice physics. Pop back up, hopefully not take any damage. Ooh. Touched by that, and we are into the first boss. See, I like the Force Armor overall, but I like the more unique gimmicks from the stuff in 5, at least when it's in 5. Since, you know, it gets nerfed after the fact, or the Falcon Armor does anyway. But the free flight is a really cool mechanic, albeit very broken. And I think, like, the Gaia armor is one of my absolute favorite armors. And I know that he's got the one particular movement pattern where he just kind of sits there and takes damage. I don't want to risk that because I'm out of practice. I'm pretty positive all you need to do is jump, like, next to him. The mighty snow laser. aggravating than having a giant rectangle sent your way. He's done. Easy. But you know, as for exploration, Falcon definitely... Falcon really does do a lot to trivialize the stages, and really most of that is going to come down to exploring quickly. I think the thing that always kind of bothered me a little bit more about the Falcon armor, as somebody who really likes it, and like it's probably up there in my hypothetical X armor tier list, is that you need the one armor to get the other armor. I wish they had set it up in a way where you could get either first, but you know, it's not a huge deal. I also understand them kind of the way that X5 works. You're kind of expected to do the first set first anyway, but I still like the guide a lot, just because it's like a nice sort of fresh variation on things. Also, hello more viewers. Happy to have you. I'm shaking the rust off. X3 is one of my favorites, but I don't play it enough. Net some more sub-tank freebies. One other health capsule in here that falls down. I always forget that it'll reach that far. Freebie, these will pop off. And Hurt Tank. So I do have Bits weakness weapons, so I might go the Saber route for this one because I'd like to get the 2 games in today, and that's just going to be faster. And there's already going to be quite a lot of backtracking, because that's just how X3 is. Which, personally, I'm a fan of. I like backtracking in next stages. It's obviously sometimes done a little bit better than other times, but, you know, there's always something you can do. He struck me as a very strange mini-boss, and I don't really know why. I think I kind of prefer... Yeah, you know what? I think that's part of it. X3 does this weird thing... Oh, turn up my mic volume a little bit once the game... good catch, thank you very much. Let me pop on over. Okay, it's still maxed out, so let me crank the volume knob a little bit. Let me know how that sounds. It's definitely up a little bit now, but it's a analog knob to do that, so I don't know exactly how much of a difference that's going to make. Or it might be deafening. I am not sure which. For now, I'll take the silence as it's good enough. Ah. Ooh, oh god. Almost forgot that. Okay, cool. No, thank you for letting me know. My sound settings are always a little bit janky. I don't have the best setup in the world mic-wise, so I'm always happy when somebody mentions it so I can fix it. But, I think for the sake of speed, I'm going to go all weaknesses this time, including Bit, Bite, and Vile, just because this game is kind of a slog in terms of how much backtracking, which, as I was saying, I do prefer most of the time when it's done cleanly, but this one goes pretty wild with it, and I'd like to try and get through the 2 games if I can. Missed my pattern up a bit. It's been a hot minute. It's no problem, though. Yeah, stream delay is always a bit of a problem, too. It's a shame. I know, I think my voice comes through just a little bit before the video footage does, and I need to figure out a way around that. Because right now I'll be reacting to things that haven't happened yet on stream if I'm remembering my VOD reviews correctly, but it's just more stuff to figure out. It'll matter a little bit more once there's more regular viewers. Right now I don't think it's important enough. I love how wild Dr. Doppler's hair is in the concept art, and in the actual sprite it's pretty tame by comparison. But yeah, like, Mac gets his own unique teleport animation, but these two just, like, motion tween in. And then Vile's gonna motion tween in from the opposite axes. That makes it unique. Also, spoilers, Vile's back. Oh no! Holy crap. Alright. Bit always, for whatever reason, early game kicks my ass, so I need to be not crappy about that if I can help it. That'd be you. I'm just gonna go in weakness order for the time being, but I think I might hot swap over to Gravity Beetle after him to get no. Yes. Yeah. I'll probably do, after him, Gravity Beetle, then Blast Hornet to get the right armor and the Buster. Or no, because that's me. I'll figure it out. I might also just go weakness order. Like I said, I need to do some route work on X3 pretty badly. Can't go over there yet. Need the Buster and Volt Catfish's weapon. I actually think, aside from the sub-tank, I can't get anything else here yet. But this is like the laziest... Oh, hey Mabels, thanks for joining. It's like the laziest secret hiding spot in this whole stage. Also, God, I forgot how much contact damage they do. I'm definitely gonna die here. It is the Merry Christmas Man. Christmas is gonna beat my ass. I do not want to use a sub-tank for him right now just because I hit a crab. Yeah, you're gonna... You got me, Christmas Man. I'll still do my best, make an honest showing, but... Two of them now. Ah, that tall-ass hitbox. Ah, cool. Yeah, thank you, Maverick. Let's just go ahead and ban you. Well spotted. I turned around and saw a giant text block. It's like, there's no way Mibbles said that much already just out of the blue. Because it was the same chat color as you for a second on my end. think I'm getting overly excited. I'm still also adjusting to the PS5 controller for... God, why do these guys do so much contact damage when they're shots? Well, the undercharged ones. Alright. This will go much better. Except for that. That's a bad. Oh. There we go. Now we're back on track. Ooh, less on track. Doing a few too many panic jumps here. Alright, alright, alright. Probably, well, I don't know if I should have done that or not. That was luck more than anything else. There we go. Goodbye, I've ruined Christmas for everybody. But it's all I can do with the options afforded to me. These guys are, like, the bane of my damage threshold existence. God, I'm like I said, I'm still trying to get used to the PS5 controller, and I was physically going for the dash claw, and just kind of, like, stood there and ate those drills. But, now we're a little better. I meant to swap dash to R1 because I can do that, because I don't usually use the weapon hot swap button super often. But I forgot to. You can't do that in the collection menu. You have to do it in the game's options screen. I need to remember to do that for X4 when I get there. I see what you're saying now. The return X. Very good. Well, I botched that immediately. I need to remember the pattern for this. But you can just get him locked into this loop. As long as you're on the ground, he'll always go for that. God, the jump delay on that Quake is crazy. There we go. But yeah, you can just bait him. This is what I was given feedback for, though, on X3 as a whole. I really like it. I really like how experimental it is compared to 1 and 2. They, like, really go all out on everything. But so much of it feels, like, over-detailed almost to a fault. Because, like, that mini-boss... A lot of the mini-bosses kind of feel like they're not animated correctly, and I don't really know why. There's kind of a... God, I did the exact same flaw thing again. I don't know if lifeless is the right word, but so many characters in this game feel like they just kind of like slide around because there's so much detail, like, to a fault. You're gonna kill me. I'm gonna go over here. I don't want to deal with the energy ball charge. Bad enough that I already died once, and I'm probably gonna die. Oh, I'm screwed. Alright. I'm just going to play with it powered. We're going to be safe. It's never occurred to me, but I wonder if I could go fight Vile in the same stage. I wouldn't have the right weapon, so I wouldn't really get the correct fortress thing. And yeah, the collectible system is quite a lot as well. Although I kind of like that. I just wish that the collectibles overall were more meaningful. Like, the right armor system in this game is super cool, but there's very rarely a reason to use all of them. Like, they come in handy... Oh, man. My claw is not working out for me. I'm only not using his weakness right now because I want to see how far I'll get to him with such little health. Because I don't want to deal with... Yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of. I need to remember exactly what triggers his short stops. I think it's jumping too early. But I wish there were more reasons to use more of the right armors. Honestly, I feel like a lot of that is because so many of them are, like, at such specific spots in the stages. Some of them being very late through, so it doesn't feel like you get to use them for that long. And I understand why. It would be really overpowered, but, like, some of them are so hidden that it feels like that should be kind of the reward for doing that. I don't know, it's really hard to say exactly how I feel about it. Another Eaton shot input. Doing way better this time. Yeah, I really do, like, knowing how many accessibility options they were able to add to these collections, like, you know, guided mode and stuff like that, it really does surprise me that they didn't add in more thorough custom controls. Because, like, when I went through and experimented with the shoulder buttons for X1 dashing, it has... I was using the Switch at the time. It has the correct icons and everything. They updated the UI, at the very least, to know what the Switch buttons specifically were. But they didn't add the additional buttons that wouldn't have been on the Super Nintendo controller. So, like, you can use L and R, but you can't use ZL and ZR. So, like, you can't use the trigger buttons and everything. And that feels really bizarre to me. Like, I feel like that should be an automatic feature of any kind of collection like this, is just being able to have good input controls. Because if I could put dash on on right trigger on all of my modern controllers, that'd be it. Like, I would be completely fine with that. And you can do it PlayStation onward because the games allow that, except for X7 because X7 is a nightmare. But having dash on a trigger is the best thing. It's easily one of my favorite control options, because you no longer have to claw. It's just a natural hand position without removing the weapon wheel kind of functionality. And it really shows it. Like, I am confident in my X movement, but there's just certain things that my hands are getting worse at over time. And that claw grip doesn't gel with me as best as it used to. If I'm remembering correctly, Tornado Fang should be one of Bite's weaknesses, so I think I'm covered on those two across the board now. There we go. The hit detection on that ledge is really weird looking. Oh, hit detection on you is really wide. I also love that apparently this is an air fortress, according to his like boss description in the original manual. He hijacks a flying fortress. Just the scale of this. You could fit like 3 Death Rogemers inside it, and I kind of love that. You did it. Ah! Man, contact damage in X3 is off the charts. Man, I'm just not gonna get any sub-tank! I'm killing myself here. Doing such a bad job. Alright, up there would be the right armor panel, which is exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, like, so far into the level comparatively. There we go. There's some sub-tank. Good lord. You use the right armor to get in there, which in this instance wouldn't even matter because for my purposes, I wouldn't be going for that anyway. That's one of the capsules. I need you guys to not break off. Like I said, I also feel like this is one of the games that really starts to mess with the damage output of things a little bit uncomfortably. Like, I understand the power fantasy of Drill, or Tornado Fang there, but, like, it takes a little too long to kill that enemy. The opening of invincibility stuff? That's where I'd like you to stay for a little while, at least. Jesus. I actually don't think there are any hunter medals for getting the upgrade chips. I think the only ones in this one are for getting the saber and then doing no weakness weapons against Bit, Bite, and Vile so that you do all the fortress bosses. And then getting the golden armor, but I don't think there's one for getting any of the individual chips. Which is good, because that would require 3 playthroughs to 100% X3 on its own, which I'm not opposed to doing that, but it's definitely less necessary than some of the alternatives would be. Oh, man, my claw. It's... There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what? Keep doing that, please. This is way easier on me. That's the other thing, too, is I appreciate the fact that they wanted to give the bosses more mechanics in X3, but I don't know if I'm a fan of the invincibility attacks. Mostly because they use them a lot. It's like kind of every other attack cycle. Neon Tiger is particularly bad about it because he already has a defensive move by default. So there's just these huge chunks of fight where you just can't do anything. But, oh, yeah, the right armor chips. Yeah, I'm talking about the individual armor chip, like the X armor for the max armor. If you don't get the gold armor, you can get one version of, or one upgraded limb, basically. So you can get, like, just the Buster upgrade, just the leg upgrade, and so on. Or if you don't get any of them and you go into the fortress, then you can get the gold armor and you get all of them. Which is really kind of weird, but yeah, it's cool as a secret, but then it kind of invalidates some of the stage design the moment you know that that's a thing. So, I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, we're gonna go get the first armor. Oh, nice! I'm really glad to hear that those are coming in. I really should start grabbing some of those. They're really neat. How much did they run you, if you don't mind my asking? No worries if you don't want to talk about how much you're spending on stuff, but that stuff is always really cool to me. I haven't gotten to add to my collection in a long time. That's another thing. I'm telling myself that I'm going to use special weapons more often because I'm really bad about remembering to do that. Even though they're quite often very powerful. So 10 each isn't bad for those. This is one of the arm panels, right? Yeah, don't need that yet. I would love some health if you're feeling generous then. Unless that's a property of Acid Burst. It's damages you guys, right? Yeah, it does. I don't want to overdo that. Should be good on Bite still. I don't think he's going to show up yet. Oh, no, he is. Oh, that's not great. Oh, no, right. I was weak to Acid Burst, if I'm remembering right. First one, get that first cycle good. Remember the speed on that one. Yep, it is Acid Burst. Well, never really... well, no, let's keep you so if I'm remembering right, yeah. I also want to say once they're flashing white, yep, you can just pass right through them, that's dope. It would help if I got the timing right at any point. But we do what we can. I'm learning. Like that, just that should destroy that crate. It doesn't need that much of a spectacle to keep drilling through. Just for the love of God, destroy it. I feel like there's a little bit of a delay on my jump, which is weird, but the punch comes out right away, so I just need to remember that. Alright, so we've got the Chimera. That's where we want to be. And we already beat Gravity Beetle, so the mini-boss isn't going to show up. I've actually done Gravity Beetle first before. He's not the worst that way. Mostly because he's so slow, so you can get your jumps pretty well timed. It took me a good couple tries, though, and that was a long time ago. I'd probably be worse at it now. And the air dash really helps. But as long as you're up on when you go under him or go over him, he's not too bad. I really wish I had a better read on the damage output for Acid Burst. Please. Really? Oh, never gone up here. Keep falling. Alright. I'm gonna bully this bee. Myth isn't here today because he's not feeling well, but we're definitely doing him a disservice. He really likes Blast Hornet. He's a fan of bees. And to be fair, I quite like Blast Hornet as well, but that does not mean I'm going to not bully him. Because it's satisfying, and Gravity Well is a very underutilized weapon in my opinion. It's actually something that I'm going to do in this run. So, like, I keep mentioning that I want to use the special weapons more, but I really want to find good situations to use Gravity Well in, because it's just such a cool weapon. I'm making some bad dash decisions. I actually found out, for the longest time, I thought that the Gravity Well charge shot wouldn't damage him, but it actually does. It slams him into the ceiling. I don't remember how worth it actually is, but it's a neat mechanic. Also, yeah, I was getting hitbox real hard there. I feel like a lot of the stuff in X3 is really wide compared to 1 and 2, for sure. Alright. This is another one that I really need to get more used to using because it can do cool stuff that I didn't even know about up until I started watching a couple speedruns. So, where do I want to go? I think I might go Neon Tiger just to get the Buster. Do I want to do that, or do I want to go... I do want to go here because that way I'll be able to earn... Yeah, let's do it. Because I can opt into Vial at any point, as long as it's before the Fortress. But I want to make sure that I'm covered. Also, it's the first one you could just skip the boss intros, which I think is fine. Actually, I think it might be the only one that you can do that. Also, hey, Guns N' Roses. Man, that's a really boring stage opening. You just don't do anything for a little while. And yet I still managed to take damage before I picked up some sub-tank. Perfect. Oh. Alright. You up? Because I desperately need it. Do you work on you? No, you don't. Well, that's good. He works on these guys. I'm still trying to test this out. Yeah. Yeah! So Parasitic Bomb will, like, fling weak enough enemies into other enemies, and I did not know that. It's such a weird ability, because there's, like, no... It's like I said, there's no animation for it. You're just getting this weird-ass motion tween, but I love that I know that. I wish it was a little bit more obvious which enemies would have that happen, since I think it just has to do with, like, total health, because it doesn't really seem to be size. Because you can't do it with the... Like, you can do it with those little purple cannon guys that I just did it to, but you can't do it with, like, the bigger ones that have the cannons and the missiles. So I've got to figure out who that's actually viable for, because it's really funny, if anything else. But it also seems pretty useful, too. I don't know why I always make that decision. I feel like there's got to be a good weapon for this mini boss. I always tend to just use the Buster. So let's experiment. Oh my god. There's so much hit delay. I feel like Acid Burst is really strong. So I think I've seen speedrunners using that quite a bit. I don't know if the charge shot is the way to go, though, or not. Yep, it's not bad. That did a pretty good amount of damage. It could also follow earlier patterning and be weakest to the same weakness weapon as the boss of the stage, which in this case would be Spinning Blade. Now I'm curious. Well, first of all... Oh god, see that too. It feels like a very unintuitive button to activate. But that's just because I'm not on the Super Nintendo right now. I do that every time. Yeah, there's a huge jump delay. That's really weird. Is it the next one? Or is it farther? Yeah, I'll come back if I need to. Okay, let's see if it's the big man. No, not yet still. You work. No, you don't. Still incapacitates him. But the trick is you can only have one on screen at a time. So it's useful, but it's like not perfect either. Go over here, please. No! Oh! Well, that sucks. Now I have to do the stage again, but whatever. I can't believe I just did that. Just like a perfect slam dunk into the door. That's fun. I'm really bad at reading his moves. So it takes a long time to charge up the triple, or the cross rather. It does fake him out though, which I appreciate. Even if I'm taking an inordinate amount of damage, which is just going to keep happening because I haven't fought these bosses in a while. Yeah, man, that's fine. At the very least, weirdly enough, even though I don't prefer it, I'm going to be much cleaner than X4, and I'll take that for sure. I feel like X3 is a much longer, much more difficult game. I need you to not be right in the middle, please. Luckily, too, the cross-charge, as unwieldy as it is quite strong. But there's a lot of times where I feel like it's more trouble than it's worth. Let's check our samples. Please pause. Oh, well, I wanted to check my sub-tank. Alright. Now I am. Interesting. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Interesting doesn't matter when we're dead. Oh, shit, that's not great. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm gonna, I've got the Buster, so I'm just gonna move along. So now I can get his weapon, and then I can get a bunch of stuff in Tunnel Rhino's stage, do a little bit of backtracking. I can do that. I need the boosts right now. I found out that I inadvertently made Thunder Tyranno's backstory the same as Volt Catfish's to a degree. Like a 95% degree, and I don't know how I feel about that. Offload dodging them, don't care, I'm just going to eat the damage. See, this is all on me. Some of these intro stage portions are just so long. This I'm fine with. See, this is the type of area where that comes in like way handy. you, though. Can I gravity well you? No, I can't. It's just too much health. Please? There we go. Okay, that I'll take. Now, is that a fluke, or are you actually that weak to Frost Shield? Yeah, I really like that property where you can just kind of move right through. I will certainly take that. I'm going to do a little bit of charged gravity. I'm sorry, I missed what comedian was, Oh, yeah. No, he is also, he was built, according to the manuals and everything, to be a disaster relief power generator, which I forgot about. Okay, I will happily take the defense boost, because I'm being slapped around like somebody who's never played this before. Let's test this. All right, just a dead hit to the Frost Shield. I'd happily take that. Oh, got him finally. I am Bite. I guess you were technically programmed to do this. They were designed by Doppler to be the police force for Dopple Town, Doppler Town, depending on how you like to translate it. But they were reprogrammed to become evil. You know, big surprise in a Mega Man game. Just gonna proper fuck him up. That is an extremely good point, Tenkai, and I'm very glad you pointed it out. That's awesome. Yeah, you do the ground punch. I never understood. It's got to be like a Japanese mythology thing, or it's like some kind of folk tale, not necessarily mythology. Why the catfish is associated with an earthquake? Because like electricity, whatever, you're gonna just add themes, but the earthquake thing in particular feels like a thing. Like that feels like a deliberate concept, and I would be very curious. Please. What that means. Or if it was, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like a very intentional thing. Oh, okay. I'm surprised you knew that right offhand, but nope. That's the answer. We're just going to use this boy to drop straight down, which again feels like with the total misuse of the right. It's like they just couldn't figure it out. But for my money, like I would have put this one up on the bridge section, like fighting across the top of the electric plant, and then like bringing it in here at the very end to drop down. And that, by and large, is kind of my issue, I guess, with X3. Is like there's a lot of really cool shit. Do you always spawn health? You always spawn health, I think. That's good to know. That was an excellent shot. That was less lucky, but whatever. I like that. It's gonna refill real fast. I wish I had the, Oh, hold on. It seemed like Acid Burst was doing a lot of, That's interesting. Come on. Yeah, well, I think that's enough drill to deal with him. I guess that kind of explains why his weakness is the drill, too, because you're, like, drilling into the underground catfish, kind of. I guess you could also make the argument, like, you're using the ground-associated weapon to deal with the electric enemy. But that feels... I don't know. I get it, but, like, that kind of typing doesn't really work for me outside of something like Pokemon. If I'm being honest. Gotta say, I'm not 100% sure why I was going so hard on the, That's not gonna go great. On the double shots for him. I'm gonna get bullied here a little bit. This is definitely more what I mean by, like, the invincibility spam. Man, God, like, you just don't do anything. Is there a safer spot? It's actually, like, on my body? Oh, it's such a slog. Alright, I need to never come in here without fuller weakness weapon ever again. I mean, mercifully, I have or sub-tank. I'm not thrilled about how much of that I'm using, but hey. Whatever. I'll live. So I'm assuming the Keshi in that case would be the, his, like, backpack and then the 4 tendrils? Or the whiskers, I guess? Is that about on par? Maybe his tail, too, depending on how beefy he is? Because I'd definitely be curious about what you'd actually be assembling there. It's so interesting to me how much they, like, tripled down on merch for X3. I'm kind of curious, like, what the reasoning behind that was. Like, if it was that X2 performed really well at the time, so they tripled down on it, or if it wasn't selling as well and they were trying to get, like, the toy sale boost for it. Mebbles will explain it a little bit better, but they're kind of like little collectible... I always thought they were erasers, but I guess they're just like little figurines. Like little Gashapon-style things, I think. But, like I said, I'm probably butchering that, so please feel free to correct me. While I go through... Where was I going to get the other stuff from? Right, tunnel. This was correct.